Hi-Tec engines need Hi-Tec oils.
I'm here with Swift newcomer Callan Sayers. Callan, tell me about your first round in the series.
I'd never turned a wheel in the Suzuki Swifts until practice on Friday, so I had to change my mentality coming out of a go-karting background, the front-wheel drive, and adjusting my driving style to that, and I'm pretty happy with my performance so far.
How did you get into the Swifts?
Well, I had a few sponsors in Cairns interested in getting me to the next level, and the Swifts are a very entry-level based motorsport, and Gilligan's from Cairns. Without their support today, I wouldn't be here.
You enjoying the Swifts so far?
Yeah, they're a lot of fun because they're all level. It brings it everything back to the driver. There's hardly any setup changes you can make. So yeah, they're very close racing, as you'll see.
Thanks, Callan. Stay tuned for more from the Hi-Tec Oil Swift Racing Series.
And we're looking forward to it. Sun is shining here for the Hi-Tec Oils Australian Swift Racing Series at Queensland Raceway. And Richard Crail, we're told it's going to be full of action.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt based on what we've seen so far, Boydo, coming into this round. 4 down, round 5 here at Queensland Raceway. Reece Murphy by just a handful of points over Allan Jarvis. And that's the battle, isn't it? That's the battle for the title we're really focusing on.
Well, here are the highlights of race 2 of the weekend. They all got off the line nice and cleanly, and good to see that the field is starting to swell as well.
Yeah, improved numbers this weekend at Queensland Raceway, which is great to see. And it was Allan Jarvis who led the field down into turn 1, but it was pretty close behind them, and they were almost 4 abreast into that very, very fast corner.
And a couple of them getting a little bit wide. Murphy just stepping out to the side there and getting a little bit of dirt flying through the air, and a bit of biff and barge as well, which we haven't seen in the Swift Series.
Yeah, sort of a shortcut there for Brooke Leech. It ultimately cost him momentum, wasn't able to get through. Of course, Reece Murphy had won race 1 on Saturday. He made a fairly aggressive little move, a little bit of a bump and run down at turn 6. And there was more racing going on behind them as well.
Look at the tagging that's going on here. We've just seen a couple of turns and a couple of drivers just giving each other a little bit of a nudge. All of a sudden they're getting very intense, but a very, very solid victory there for Allan Jarvis, picking up more series points.
Yeah, Damian Ward came home in second, Rob Jarvis third, but the dicing went right to the line behind them. A great job by most of these drivers. It was a clean race, but a really hard one too. And flashing of the light showed some enjoyment at the end. Jarvis took out race 2. Ward was second, Murphy third. Brooke Leech an excellent 4th place ahead of Dale Corbett, Callan Sayers, Rob Jarvis and Ben Foessel.
It's probably our best opportunity to get a win this weekend. You know, we're starting from the front on a reverse grid, and a lot of the other faster guys were stuck down the back, so we just sort of gapped the field and got away as quick as we could and managed to hold on.
Brooke Leech has aspirations of launching herself as a new star in the world of motorsport and has chosen the Swift Racing Series to launch her career for a good reason.
I love it. They are such great fun. The whole crew are awesome. Yeah, they're just awesome little cars. You just learn so much from them.
Brooke would like nothing more to stand on the top step of the podium this weekend at Queensland Raceway, but the competition's tough.
I would love a podium, but yeah, I really want to try and stick with the front pack and try and work my way up the ranks a bit. Damian Ward and Reece Murphy have come to the series and they are just unbelievably fast. They are really good. Yeah, it's good having so many cars out here.
Whichever way you'd like to look at it, being a female in a male-dominated sport is always going to turn heads.
Some tracks you go to and you don't realise it, but being here this weekend, a lot of people do look at you and want to talk to you as well, so it is good, and to actually motivate girls and get into male sports as well. Every race meeting feels different. If you got a dream, go for it. Don't let boys intimidate you, just go for it. Do what you love. Nothing's going to stop me from racing. I just love racing. That's what I was born to do, I reckon.
Let's take a look at race 3 on the card. A couple of onboards. Allan Jarvis has got a few of our onboards this weekend. Unfortunately, one of them is pointing at his face, but hey, you live with that. Damian Ward will carry an onboard as well, and this is the way they're going to line up. Reece Murphy off pole, Damian Ward alongside, then Allan Jarvis and Rob Jarvis, Sayers, Leech back there in 6th spot, Corbett and Foessel round out the 8.
Brooke Leech having a great weekend, really impressive performance. Well, away we go. What's going to happen in this? The feature race, the final one for the weekend. in the Hi-Tec Oil Swift Racing Series. An improving field, and it should be plenty exciting. Reece Murphy to turn one, side by side.
How was that? You could see Murphy had the inside line, but neither competitor was willing to give it up, and side by side through turn one, and they're trying to continue it through two, which we know just doesn't work. Oh, big slide movement too.
I think it was Ward actually.
Yeah.
He managed to get in front in the 11 car, and they're still side by side down the back straight. So a great start by Ward. Jarvis has got the best view of the whole thing here.
Well, that spectacular slide by Ward made him slow down the back straight and gave Murphy another chance to dive up the inside, but unable to do it. Late under brakes, but too late. Understeers straight off the track and will fall back into about fourth spot.
Yeah, just tried to get a little bit greedy on the outside, tried to carry too much car speed in and ended up understeering off. You could see the lock on the car and it just wanted to plough on straight ahead. Reece Murphy now out on his own in front, but Jarvis in car number one now starts to buy his way in. Got to say, I'm loving the black wheels they're rocking on these cars this weekend. That's a new thing for the Hi-Tec Oil Swift Racing Series. They look smart.
You're on board with Allan Jarvis at the moment, sitting back there in second, trying to tackle Murphy to try and take the race lead on this opening lap. Looks to the inside, late braking manoeuvre, gets tight, runs a little bit wide. They've leaned on each other. That's fair.
3 different leaders in one lap. Amazing stuff. What an opening lap.
Make that 4.
Oh, and they're almost 3 wide. Who's going to lead the opening lap? And it's just lap 1. And they're 3 wide for second place.
Oh, this is going to be scary. Down into turn 1. Jarvis leads, but there's a great dice for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th.
Yeah, Rob Jarvis, it was fighting his way in alongside Reece Murphy, side by side through one. Damian Ward wants to get back into this and just has to back out of it.
Oh, Damian was entitled to take a look up the inside, but the door just closed. Speaking of which...
Yeah, the door was open just from Reece Murphy there, and Allan Jarvis took advantage of that. So there were 3 different leaders on the opening lap of the race.
Might have been door open for LAPD, but that's about it.
Bit of a pitting move there. So back a little bit, Ward still on the comeback trail. So Captain Rob is in a different car this weekend. He's in car 17. So a bit of a swap around. That's part of the appeal of the series. You can do that. And we should mention in car 5, which is the Adam Brand car for the last couple of rounds, Callan Sayers, the Queenslander, doing a great job on home turf and running second at the moment.
And Rob Jarvis has a stack of cars behind him. In races gone by when the numbers were smaller in this field, he probably had the entire field, rounds gone by behind him. All of a sudden, no, he's just battling for 5th and 6th.
Damian Ward has been up and down this leaderboard like a pogo stick. It's been remarkable. And we're just a couple of races, or a couple of laps into the race. Down the inside ahead of him, and big contact.
He could see that coming. That was good
Corbett.
driving, because Ward could see what was about to happen in front of him, gave himself enough room that when those 2 guys went wide and tagged each other, he could slide up the inside. Very good racecraft.
Dale Corbett in the Bartercard car had a fairly big whack there too, and he'll pay the price because he'll get past Damian Ward. All of a sudden finds himself back in the motor race. Remember, dicing for the lead at turn 3. Oh, there's a bit of a signal maybe to the car behind, or it was just an I'm going forward.
Yeah, and it wasn't go past.
No,
you can guarantee that.
No,
Can't believe the competitiveness of this mid-pack.
It's well and truly on, isn't it? So Reece Murphy third. He's chasing down Callan Sayers. Now this is from the outside. We saw it from the onboard. Boom, down the inside. Corbett just gives Rob Jarvis the hip and shoulder, pushes him out the way, and Brooke Leech tried to get through and has done so on Rob Jarvis. So he's through. McMaster there in the very smart looking car just a little bit further back. Oh, no, here's a new camera angle looking at, seems to be a fairly relaxed Allan Jarvis.
Yeah, he's got a very relaxed racing style, hasn't he? It's nice to watch, and you can see nice and smooth on the wheel. Obviously just going over some ripple strips there. That's why he had the shaking, which is a good example of how tough a ride these can be.
So he's just working on this battle for the lead. Well, at Sydney Motorsport Park at the last round, we had a look at his feet. Now we get a look at the face, and a little bit of concentration going on there. Some gritted teeth.
Yeah, even the movie star glasses won't hide that one.
No, not right.
He's
a big moment.
Superstar now is Allan Jarvis. Become an absolute superstar.
Well, the feet thing was very popular, wasn't it, at the last round? There's no doubt. to see the breathe
The
there.
big breath.
Oh, no.
Oh, Allan, you are just getting us so much ammunition out here.
It's
But brave to
perfect.
do.
So Jarvis is in front, had a big moment while watching it, just got onto the straight and had a deep breath to try and settle himself down. He's leading. Murphy goes forward and passes the 5 car, the kit and car care entry of Callan Sayers. He's doing a really good job.
Sayers is in a good spot here, isn't he? He seems to have some momentum. He's right up behind the 62 and keeping it very, very honest. You just get the feeling that if he is able to find a way past, he may even disappear off into the distance.
We're going to have big things in this series, Boydo. We're going to have great fun with this in the future, I can tell.
Look at the way they're sliding through turn 2. How can you not enjoy that? I mean, it's not the fast way around, let's be honest, but it gives you an idea that they are absolutely on the limit of what these cars can endure.
Well, it just produces great racing, doesn't it? And as the fields have gotten bigger, the racing's gotten better. Damian Ward now still in this fight, wants to get himself back on the podium to make up for that mistake on the opening lap.
I'm just thinking right at the moment there's a technician in pit lane going, gee, I'm glad I put it on board on Ward's car. He's been involved in everything.
Yeah, good choice, good choice. So the Hi-Tec oil's on board, bringing us great pictures. So this is 4th, 3rd, 2nd. And Allan Jarvis just disappearing up the road. Reece Murphy unable to pull away as well.
But did you notice that little movement from side to side? Very small movements from Damian Ward. It's just he's thinking, he's looking at what's going on ahead. He's trying to calculate where the strengths and the weaknesses are between he and his fellow competitors. I like the way he thinks as a race car driver. I know I said it already once in this commentary, but he has good racecraft.
Murphy just holding on and doesn't seem to quite have the pace to pull away. And Dale Corbett just in behind there in the Barter car number 3 car. That's the white car, 4th in the queue. He's just latched onto the back of this as well. These pictures have been spectacular though, really enjoying this. And you can just see the way these cars move around. They're right on the edge through turn 1, which is one of the quicker corners we go to. And then this is even more important, especially in these cars, Boydo, which are momentum-based. You need to be fast out of turn 2 because that affects your entire run down the back straight where you can overtake at 3.
Oh, this is going to get really interesting now because all 3 of these cars have been able to slipstream themselves through turn 2. And you have to say that Ward's in the best position. Can he get past? Looks up to the inside. That was good movement by Sayer. He saw that Ward was going to have a launch down the inside. Rather than make contact, moved out to try and get the cross back on the exit of the turn. And the move didn't pay off, but at least he kept his car in one piece.
You said going to get interesting. Well, it's not already. There's been remarkable stuff, hasn't it? Great racing so far. So Ward provisionally back on the podium, but can he stay there? So remember, had a share of the lead out of turn 2 on the run down to turn 3 on the opening lap, but ran wide, ran off, and now he's back inside the top 3.
It looked like Beelzebub at the moment. If you could see his eyes, they'd be totally red with anger and frustration and knowing that he shouldn't be sitting this far back.
Talk about eyes red. I can't tell if they're frustrated or not, but it's close enough. Allan Jarvis in front. He's wearing the teeth down in this one because he's been gritted most of the way. See him just compose himself before tipping into turn 1. See the oversteer. There was more correction the other way than the actual direction of the corner through there.
And there's genuine gritting of the teeth there. I absolutely love that. And I say it's brave. I would have an onboard camera, but I would never have it looking at my face. I mean, look at the faces Russell Ingles pulled over the years.
Yep, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I wouldn't want people looking at my face at the best of times anyway, let alone concentrating. That's a bad thing.
Well, that's by popular poll.
Yeah, well, no, it is.
Final lap, final lap.
The producers have outlawed it, actually. So if either of us are ever in a racing car, which we're both entitled and very keen to do, I might add.
We're looking for teams. Let's get back to the action because this is a thriller. Final lap in the Hi-Tec Oils. Final race of the weekend for the Swift Racing Series. Allan Jarvis leads the pack, but I tell you what, Murphy has got about half a lap and he's got momentum, and you can tell by the body language of the car coming through turn 2, he's not done yet.
Well, and Ward's got the headlights on as well, and a big look in the mirror there from Murphy. So maybe not turn 3. Don't think he's close enough, and he would have learned his lesson from the opening lap. But what about turn 4 or possibly turn 6? Last corner move, maybe, for second place. So it could happen. This is the Hi-Tec Oil Swift Racing Series. Pretty much anything could happen right now. Rob Jarvis could still come through and win this race as far as I'm concerned. Allan Jarvis still leading Few corners to go. Murphy holding on.
Yeah, it looks like he's got enough, doesn't it? Murphy sitting back there in second spot, but anything is possible, and just one little wheel off the track can cost you massive when you're this close to a fellow competitor who is quick.
Nice new livery on Reece Murphy's car. He's kept it straight and kept it good so far. He's second. Ward looks to the outside. Really hot. Too fast. Second time in a row. Runs it off the racetrack. Same as what he did on the opening lap. This time it's ended up stuck in the gravel. Well, look, he had to have a go. Allan Jarvis comes through and wins it. Murphy will get second, and he's pretty happy about that too. And Sayers across the line in third. Corbett was the beneficiary there. He finished fourth, and Foessel up to fifth place.
And where did Wardy finish? Way back down the pack. What a fascinating third race of the weekend. Here's the replay. He had to go to the out. He wanted to give it a go. Why not? Hero or zero?
Well, you got to give him points for that, don't you? He hung on, almost had enough grip, and you could see the car trying to grip up. Wasn't quite enough.
Allan Jarvis, another round win, and what a time to get it.
Definitely, yeah. Trying to fight back in the championship. I got 1 point back on Reece, so happy with that. I'll take that home, and yeah, really happy with the weekend.
Yeah, he just got us by 1 point, so it was a bit disappointing, but we had a good race in race 1. Race 2 and 3 was a bit unfortunate. Race 3 on the first corner, we got shunted back to 4th position, so it was really trying to get some ground back on the leaders there. It was a tough slog.
It was a good weekend. Not quite as good as what I hoped, but that's motorsport, and just got to keep it together. Definitely not the pace. Just sort my mind out and get me right on the track.
Well, I think they're pretty happy. It was a wild old weekend, Boydo, in the Hi-Tec Oil Swift Racing Series, but Allan Jarvis can't keep a champion down.
Yeah, and he's getting closer and closer. Not much between first and second in the outright series for the Hi-Tec Oils Swift Racing Series of 2012. But what I love is the smiles and the joy they get from racing.
Well, that's enough excitement for today. Thanks for watching round 6 of the Shannon's Nationals presented by Hi-Tec Oils. Tune in next week for the Australian Manufacturers Championship and their 200-kilometre endurance race. I'll see you then.
Down the inside, ahead of him, and big contact. The young West Aussie gets wrapped up. Now he fights back. Ward looks to the outside. Really hot. Too fast. Second time in a row. Runs it off the racetrack.